Welcome, everyone. I'm Professor Chen, and it's a pleasure to be here with my colleague, Professor Li. Today, we're going to embark on a really crucial journey, right into the very heart of Mandarin pronunciation. So I want you to forget the flashcards for a moment. We're not memorizing today. We are here to build the physical, muscular foundation that every single word you ever speak in Mandarin is going to rest on.
And that brings us to this big question, right? A lot of new learners, and it's completely understandable. They think the secret is just having a huge vocabulary. But what we're proposing is that the real key, the secret to not just being understood, but to actually being heard and respected, it lies in something much more fundamental. It's all about mastering the core sounds of the language.
Exactly. And those building blocks, they have a name. Pinyin. Now, Pinyin is the system we use to write out Mandarin sounds with the Roman alphabet. You can think of it as our map. But, to read any map correctly, you first have to understand its key components. In this case, that's the initials, which are the starting consonants, and the final.
So today, our entire focus is going to be on a key part of that system, the Pinyin finals. I want you to think of these as the resonant, vowel-based core of every single syllable you will ever speak. They really are the melody of Mandarin.
So what exactly is a final? Well, it's the main vowel sound of a syllable. If the initial consonant is the percussive attack, that crisp start of a sound, then the final is its musical heart. It's the part that carries the tone and gives the language its signature melodic quality.
We're going to start with the most fundamental group, the simple finals, and we are going to deconstruct them one by one. The goal here is not about speed, it's about absolute precision. We have to train our mouths to create these pure, unadulterated vowel sounds, which are very distinct from their often lazy English cousins.
Okay, our first simple final is A. Now, I want you to listen very carefully to this sound. It's an open, clear, resonant vowel. A. Let's break down exactly how you're going to produce that.
So let's get into the physicality of this sound. I want you to literally imagine you're at the doctor's office, and they ask you to open up and say, ah. Your mouth needs to be wide open, your jaw dropped. Crucially, your tongue has to be flat and low, not bunched up in the back. Listen again. Ah. Now, the most common mistake for English speakers is to make this sound from the front of the mouth, like the ah in cat. Ah. Can you hear that difference? That's not it. The Mandarin sound comes from further back, it's more open, it's more pure. Ah.
Excellent. Okay, let's move on to our next simple final, O. The shape of the letter itself gives you a perfect clue here. This is a very rounded sound. Listen. Ooh.
Right. So to produce this sound correctly, your lips have to be rounded, forming a really distinct ooh shape. Your tongue should be pulled back just slightly in your mouth. The sound itself is a lot like ah in the English word law. Ah, ah. Now, the critical mistake here is turning it into a diphthong, a two-part sound, which is what we do in English with a word like go. We close our lips at the end. Go-wa. In Mandarin, it's a pure sustained vowel. O, not ow, just O.
All right, now we come to a sound that is frankly one of the biggest challenges for new learners, and that is the final E. I'll be direct with you. This sound has no direct equivalent in most dialects of English. It's going to feel unfamiliar in your throat, and that is a very good sign. It means you're actually doing it correctly.
So pay close attention to this one. Your mouth is only half open and your lips are relaxed, totally unrounded. All the work is being done by pulling your tongue back. The sound actually comes from your throat. It's almost like a short grunt. Think of the vowel sound in duh, but just hold it. The most common error, by far, is to pronounce it like the in bed, eh. This is completely wrong. It is not eh, it is I promise you, practice this one. It is absolutely crucial.
All right, we can actually group our next two finals, I and oo, together. Now, these will probably feel a little more familiar because they're much closer to their English counterparts. But, and this is a big but, don't get complacent. Precision, especially in the shape of your lips, is still paramount.
This slide really illustrates the difference perfectly. For the final I, your lips have to be spread wide and tense, almost like you're making a big smile. The sound is a sharp, high E, just like in the word see. For oo, it's the opposite. Your lips have to be pushed forward and tightly rounded, as if you're about to whistle. The sound is a very focused ooh, like in moo. The common error for both of these is just laziness, letting your lips be too lax. tense muscles are the key here. So smile for I and whistle for U.
Okay, so now that we've mastered the pure simple finals, we can start combining them into what we call compound finals. The most essential concept to understand here is the glide. You are not pronouncing two separate vowels. Instead, you're creating one new continuous sound that moves smoothly from a starting position to an ending one.
So, our first example is I. As you can see, it's composed of the final ah and the final I. So we're going to start with that open ah sound we learned and then glide seamlessly into the I sound.
Let's actually perform this movement together. I want you to begin with that open mouth position for ah, ah. Now, without stopping the sound, move your tongue up and forward and spread your lips into that smile for E, E. Now let's connect them in a glide. Slowly, it's ah, E. A little faster, I. It is exactly the same sound as the English word I. I want you to feel that physical movement in your mouth. I.
Next up, we have E. Now be careful with this one. The glide here begins with that tricky Mandarin E that we just learned. Your starting position is everything.
What's absolutely crucial here is to begin with the correct, throaty sound. From you're going to glide immediately into the smiling E sound. E. Now at speed, it becomes I. This is very similar to the vowel in the English word way. But if you start with an English S sound, you'll end up saying E, which is just incorrect. You have to start from the throat, E.
Okay, our final compound for today is ow. For this one, we're going to glide from the rounded O to the tightly rounded U.
I want you to watch my lips for this. We start with that open rounded aw. Then, without pausing, we transition by making our lips even tighter and more rounded for the oo. The glide is aw, oo. At speed, ow. This is very much like the vowel sound in the English word so. That change in lip shape is visible, and it is absolutely essential. Ow.
Okay, so we have spent all this time on the precise technical mechanics of sound. But why? Why does this level of detail matter so much? Well, it's because in a Chinese-speaking environment, pronunciation is not just about being understood. It carries a significant amount of cultural weight.
I really want you to reflect on this quote. Taking the time and making the effort to pronounce words correctly is a powerful nonverbal signal. Think about it. The difference between saying someone's surname as Ma with a falling rising third tone versus Ma, a high flat first tone. Now, to an English ear, that might seem really subtle, but to a Mandarin speaker, it's the difference between the word horse and the word mother. Getting a name right isn't just polite. It shows you see them, you hear them, and you respect them.
And this has very real, tangible consequences. Imagine for a moment you're in a business meeting in Shanghai. Showing that you've made the effort to pronounce names and greetings correctly, that builds immediate rapport. It demonstrates sincerity, which is a highly valued trait. This kind of respect opens doors. Conversely, a simple mistake can lead to confusion or even offense. A student once famously mixed up the words from mother, mama, and horse, ma. Asking, ni ma homa, does not mean, how is your mother? It means, is your horse okay? The effort to get it right from the very beginning, from this foundational level, it prevents these mistakes, and it shows you are a serious, respectful person.
So, you now possess the foundational sounds. But these aren't just abstract noises. They're the tools you're going to use to build words, to form sentences, and ultimately, to express your own ideas and connect with other people. So we'll leave you with this question to think about. Your journey to real communication has just begun.